Allow me once more to thank President Miguel Boades and the International Secretary Andrea Pollard from the Mallorcan Aeronautical Foundation, with whom Mavio has established an excellent working relationship. Thank you, Mallorca. Let us watch the excellent presentation prepared by Andrea about the Splashing and the myriad activities that the Foundation organizes along the calendar year.
Greetings to you all at the Mavio online conference, and a big thank you to Mavio for inviting us to present our foundation to you during this very important event. The Mallorcan Aeronautical Foundation is a non-profit entity that was created in the Spanish island of Mallorca on January 30th, 2003 by its actual president Miguel Boades, who brought together a patronage of important members within the world of aviation. Many years ago, Miguel Boades realized that hydroaviation needed to make a comeback in Mallorca, and with this thought in mind, the Foundation began making contacts with various seaplane pilots and also civil aviation in order to document for the first time the existing seaplanes in Spain. The result of these first contacts was totally discouraging. Only 2 seaplane pilots in Spain, and no official documentation from civil aviation that regulated the flight of seaplanes or the installation of hydro surfaces. Although it was such a disheartening scene, the Foundation set to work to obtain the legal permissions and pertinent authorizations to organize the first of our biennial splash-ins in the Bay of Pollença, a beautiful and privileged location with a military seaplane base serving as the base for the firefighting Canadairs each summer. The Air Force was totally positive about our efforts, allowing the civil seaplanes attending the splash-in to be stationed on their platform in the military base. We had begun a journey along a path which, although at the beginning appeared to be littered with many stones, was becoming gradually smoother, as the local and autonomic entities began to support our splash-ins and more participants registered each time. When we began the organisation of the 4th splash-in, we came up against an obstacle that was impossible to overcome. There had been local elections, and a new left-wing coalition was now resident in the Pollença town hall. They decided that seaplanes were no longer welcome in the port of Pollença, and therefore water landings would no longer be allowed. However, we refused to be discouraged and continued our work on another project which we were developing called the European Office of Hydroaviation in the Mediterranean. This project is based on taking full advantage of the use of seaplanes in the Mediterranean area, combining common operational criteria between all the countries bordering the Mediterranean Sea, and carrying out complete studies of investigation and development in the context of hydroaviation. The OEHM, to use its abbreviated form, will be based in the port of Pollença, and the project has obtained the support of many public and private entities, including that of one of our very important patrons, Conrad Dornier. In 2016, the project was presented to the European Transport Commissioners in Brussels, with the support of the European Member of Parliament, Rosa Estaràs, and it was received with much interest. In 2019, we once more attempted to organise the 4th splash-in. This time, even though Pollença continued with the same mayor as 2 years previously, luck was with us. The Hotel Federation, the restaurant owners, shopkeepers and the population of Port of Pollença joined together in protest to the ban, which obliged the mayor to sign the letter of commitment, whereby this time he supported the splash-in, which was a great success, attended by a large group of pilots and their seaplanes. Encouraged by the participating pilots of the splash-in, we considered the possibility of hosting in March 2020 the first European Seaplane Congress. Our intention with this Congress was to unite as many European seaplane pilots as possible, whereby each country could expose their problems and bring together the distinctive aspects of hydroaviation in the different countries. This would be a continuation of the work that the French seaplane pilots carried out in their meeting last October in La Rochelle, at the same time taking advantage of these conclusions to attempt to create the basis for the European Federation of Hydroaviation. We had 76 pilots registered from all over Europe, and work teams including members from all countries present were arranged. These members would be responsible for preparing dossiers of the needs and objectives of hydroaviation in Europe to be presented in the second European Congress to the different administrations as the objectives common to all in European hydroaviation. However, the terrible circumstances of this year that you all know only too well obliged us to put the Congress on hold until the situation of the pandemic allows us to hold this event without risk to the health of the delegates. At the present time, we are working on the organisation of the fifth splash-in to be held at the beginning of May 2021, where we will be celebrating the 50th anniversary of the last Dornier 24 flight from Porto Pollença to Lake Constance. We are planning with the Dornier families to bring this historic flying boat back to the Port of Pollença, accompanied by the latest model from the Dornier factory, the Sea Star. This will be a flight full of nostalgia, and it will be special to see one of the oldest seaplanes alongside the most modern. We are also hoping to be able to take advantage of this splash-in to revive our plans for the first European Hydroaviation Congress, and we hope that many of you will be eager to take part in our interesting program, where we can work together to create a solid base for the future of seaplanes and at the same time enjoy the delights of our beautiful island for a few days. We are sure that with the help and encouragement we are receiving from the world of seaplanes, our fight for a brighter future for hydroaviation in Europe will be successful. So please save a few days to visit us at the beginning of May next year, when we are looking forward very much to welcoming you to Mallorca.